Hi, I am Saul Marcus, and I'm a naturopathic doctor. In this presentation, I'll be talking about the mechanism of action of probiotics. And for this, I'm really referencing two sources, primarily mechanism of actions of probiotics. These are the sources. I'm also going to provide links to these articles in the video description. So I'm just going to be going over what it says in mechanisms of action of probiotics and then trying to translate it into lay language. I mean, it says that the rationale for using probiotics in inflammatory bowel disease, that this comes from studies of dysbiosis in the intestinal microbiota in ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. So we just have people with inflammatory bowel disease, and this is from cultures of the bacteria living in their gut. From this, we have this model that says that we have good or protective species of probiotics, or we have harmful or bad species, and having some imbalance where we have more of the harmful types of bacteria is going to lead to intestinal inflammation. So the idea is that you take some probiotics, you're putting the good bacteria into your body, and you're going to get beneficial immune system effects. And that's what we see. And there's not just one way that probiotics help people. There are many ways. We have antimicrobial activity. So probiotics can be directly antimicrobial to pathogenic bacteria by decreasing the pH of the digestive tract, by inhibiting bacteria from growing, from blocking certain bacteria from hanging onto the intestinal wall. Enhancement of barrier function. This is going to have to do with intestinal permeability, what's commonly called leaky gut. We're going to see with probiotics increased mucus production. We're going to have better integrity of the gut wall, basically. And then there are many ways that probiotics are going to modulate the immune system. Effects on the epithelial cells and dendritic cells, monocytes, macrophages, lymphocytes. These are all immune system cells within the digestive tract, and probiotics are generally going to improve antimicrobial action but calm down excessive inflammation. So now I want to say a little bit about this notion that if you take probiotics, you're going to reseed the digestive system with good bacteria and crowd out the bad. When you start looking at the research being done, I haven't seen anyone writing in a research paper that when you take probiotics, you are proliferating your digestive tract with good bacteria and crowding out the bad guys. No one is writing that. It's a theory. It kind of makes sense when you don't know a lot about what's going on, but the real in-depth research really is not backing that up. Based upon this theory, I will run into people and they're telling me how many billions and billions of probiotics they're taking. Usually these are not my clients. These are people who are basically self-treating, and they're telling me they're taking 50 billion, 100 billion, 200 billion, 500 billion, and they are convinced that if they just get to this magic number, then they're going to be taking enough good probiotics to crowd out all the bad guys, and that really not necessarily is going to happen. And some notes on inflammation. There's not just one thing that probiotics do. So this says there may be intrinsic differences in how epithelial cells sense commensal or probiotic bacteria versus pathogenic bacteria at the level of signal transduction pathway. What this is basically saying is that the cells inside the digestive tract are going to respond differently to good bacteria versus bad bacteria. And then it's listing like on IL-6, that's interleukin 6. That's basically an inflammatory cytokine, and that we see differences in the release of these inflammatory messengers based upon what type of probiotics or bad bacteria that there is. And then at the end it says furthermore, culture of the pathogenic bacteria with this specific strain of probiotics they're talking about decreased interleukin 8 secretion seen with the pathogenic bacteria alone. So they're basically saying even if you had the bad or pathogenic bacteria, adding in probiotics can modulate the excessive immune system response to the pathogenic bacteria. But the bottom line is that there are multiple pathways that probiotics really can affect inflammation. But here is where things get interesting. Probiotics may not need to encounter the mucosal immune system directly to exert an effect. Parenteral, that means I do an injection or IV, administration of some strain of probiotic, I don't need to read through all of that, ameliorated the severity of colitis, basically in a study in mice. So what they saw was that by injecting the probiotic strains into the mouse, basically, then it had an effect on colitis, even though they weren't even putting it directly into the digestive tract. And that's showing that something else is going on other than this reseeding of the gut. And to finish up, it says, one of the tenets of bacteriotherapy is that viable bacteria are required to have a beneficial effect. Recent studies suggest that bacterial DNA sequences may provide the same effect as live bacteria. So what this is saying is that you may not really need to have live bacteria to have an effect. It goes on. Non-viable bacteria may have the ability to signal and elicit beneficial effects in an experiment that used methylated, non-methylated, genomic DNA, and so forth. There's a lot of scientific lingo over there, but the bottom line is what they're basically saying is that giving people even non-living probiotics was having a positive effect, and that they're not sure that it really has to be live. And you see so much out there in the world of probiotics in terms of this many live strains and that many live strains and so forth, when that's not really what's going on with probiotics. Think about it as immune system modulation, but not reseeding the gut. And one of my teachers had a story of some place she was at, and they did some study on the probiotics they had, and they found out that all these supposedly live strain probiotics that they had in clinic, that it really didn't have any live probiotics, and they threw them out. And then she was just kind of dismissive of like the whole live thing, because what really makes a difference is the clinical effect. And probiotics definitely have a very strong clinical effect. I just get concerned when people start putting their theory of how probiotics or really any supplement works over clinical practice and clinical experience, because it doesn't make a difference whether you're talking about probiotics or herbs or nutritional supplements or medications. There's always going to be these proposed mechanisms of actions that you can read about, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly how it works. That just means that's how someone thinks something works, and a lot of these mechanisms of actions really have not been proven, or they might just be one small part of the story. And I feel like a lot of people are doing things with probiotics based upon this mechanism of action theory that you're reseeding the gut, and it's leading them towards this type of myopic focus on that if they just take enough probiotics, they're going to get better. And the thing that I always say about probiotics is that they're great, but you really want to put together a comprehensive system to restore gut health, and not just look at it as a good bacteria deficiency, or think that you're going to correct a deficiency of having the right bacteria by just taking enough probiotics. There's a lot more to digestive system health than that. Okay, bye.